Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Business Spotlight. I'm your host today, Todd Rodden. I'm a certified executive and business coach. I own Aspire Action Coach based in the Dayton, Ohio area. We're thrilled today to have Errin Siske join us. Errin is the CEO and creative director for Spark Space Creative, the branding and design studio, also based here in the Dayton area. And she's going to share you a lot more about their story and her story as the founder of the company. For those who are joining us today for the first time, we're excited to have you join the Business Spotlight series. I encourage you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can enjoy and receive future messages from other business leaders like you're going to experience here today with Errin. So, Errin, thrilled to have you join us. Take a minute, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself and also about Sparkspace.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me, Todd. I'm really excited to be here. Um, oh, we have a special guest. There's my dog, Nova. Um, Sparkspace Creative is a branding and graphic design studio that takes a holistic approach, making sure your brand works seamlessly across your website, your social media, any digital design or print collateral that you do. We love long-term partnerships, and 5 of our first clients are still our clients, which I think is really cool. I've been in business for longer than I care to admit. I started as like an intern at a graphic design studio long ago and worked my way up to um, running a creative department in a nonprofit. And then I took the leap to start Sparkspace. And that was in about 12 years ago that we started Sparkspace, and it's been an amazing adventure.
So what encouraged you to take that leap going from, having these skills, working in the industry to now going out and going out on your own and creating your own firm?
Yeah, so Sparkspace was really born out of the need to make additional income. I think maybe a lot of entrepreneurs go through that, but I was paying bills one night, kind of moaning about how tight things were, and this little voice ran through my head that said, "You should freelance again." And so 2 weeks later, before I could really get anything in motion, a new client reached out. I'd been working with her on a project at that nonprofit employer, and she liked my style. She liked how responsive I was. And so she reached out and asked if we did annual reports, which we do. And so from there, she asked me to help with an annual event. She introduced me to her boss, who introduced me to several new people, and we were off and running.
Oh, great. A kind of a signal from the market that, hey, there was a need and that you were a great fit for that. And then, take the ball and run with it. So that's great.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe share with us a little bit around a couple, some of the prime services you have and who are your target customers? So if somebody is listening to this, they know, hey, we should call Errin and team because they could be a great fit for some of our needs.
Yeah. So Sparkspace loves working with decision makers in purpose driven organizations, companies that are actively helping to make the world a better place in any number of ways. Um, that goodness really energizes us, and the clients see that, it comes through in the work that we do. And I don't know, it sounds cheesy, but we genuinely care about our clients, and we support their missions, and we just dedicate our resources to helping them grow, to expanding their reach so we can all do more good in the world. And I don't know, I think that energy comes through in the work.
So does that, if I kind of extend that out, does that mean you're mostly focused on supporting like nonprofits, or are there other types of enterprises that
Oh
are your
yeah.
focus?
Um, I think if, any organization that has a really strong mission and they're trying to help people, if it's a cleaning company or even someone who builds drone components, like they are doing their best to help make the world a better place in their own unique way. And so to me, that all counts. Yes, we do work with nonprofits, and that's actually where we got our start.
Okay. So you already mentioned this. And you're like, hey, you feel like the team really cares. What other elements makes your team unique? What separates you from other you know branding and creative firms that are out there?
Well, our we think marketing and branding is super fun. So we bring all this joy. That's actually the first, our first value is choose joy. And our second is surprise and delight. We listen very carefully to our clients and then we pull out all the stops and go above and beyond their expectations. If our clients are excited to work with us, and I quote, "It feels like Christmas morning when I open your design drafts." And
Okay.
I think it's a testament to the connection that we build, the relationships that we build, and we truly are partners. And we end up finishing each other's sentences, but that comes through in the design too, because a lot of design is kind of mind reading, right? You have a need and a goal and you communicate that, and then it's up to us to interpret it. So having a strong relationship is a real key to success.
Well, building upon that, so I'm always intrigued by what type of marketing and it works for different types of businesses, but especially when I talk to anybody who specializes in areas like branding and creative design kind of work. So what channels work the best for you for generating new customers and new building new relationships?
We have, honestly, until the last couple of years, we were built on referrals. All this time, it has just been word of mouth. And so the bigger we get, we realize that we need to put our money where our mouth is and kind of do our own marketing. So uh, a lot of what we do is what we recommend to, or probably what other entrepreneurs do. You get out and you network and you meet people and start to build relationships. I post, well, my social media manager is kind of yelling at me to post more on LinkedIn and become that, you know, I'm the face of the organization. Like, just own it, Errin. And, people want to hear what you have to say. So getting out more on LinkedIn, find some visibility that way. We build a target list that we'll be reaching out to. You got to figure out who your ideal clients are, and then uh, try and find their contact information, put together a compelling offer, and reach out. We're also going to get into Facebook ads, some Google ads this year.
So you
Yeah.
talked about networking.
Yeah.
Networking can mean a lot different things to different people. So, you know, what are the right marketing or networking avenues for you and your firm?
Well, I am kind of I don't know, it's funny. It's I avoided networking for a really long time, and it was okay because of all the referrals, right? It was like a one-on-one conversation. Errin, I want you to meet so and so. So I go in there and, it was easy to have a conversation with one person. But walking into the room, and just smiling through the nervousness and getting out there is that's always been difficult. I'm sure other people face that challenge too, but it's such a necessity. It's the probably the best first touch, after networking or word of mouth. And so for us, it's through the chamber. There's a women in business networking program through Better Business Bureau. Um, and we're always looking for more ways to get out there.
Right. Great examples, right, of particular networking associations you can really plug into there. So it's you're going on 12 years being in business, being that CEO. Sure, you've had a few twists and turns in the road during that time. So what's been the biggest challenge or two that you've overcome? What did you learn from those?
Yeah. So the first challenge was recognizing when it was time to take the leap from freelancing days or evenings and weekends while I was working a full-time job to quitting the day job and really going out on my own. And um, that was a memorable day in September a few years ago. I think that was 2013 that I actually went out on my own. It was sooner than my husband and I thought. And I remember I had written a list of all of the business that we had coming. And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to fulfill all of these commitments and work my full-time job. So I called my husband, I'm like, hey, guess what? It's time. It's like, Errin, you're about 18 months early. And I'm like, I know, but it's happening. And he said, let's do it, and so that was it. I put in my notice and we moved on from there. The second challenge was really getting the courage to hire my first team member. For whatever reason, I was super intimidated of the hiring process, and I don't have any HR experience. And I let that stand in the way for probably 2 or 3 years. And, it wasn't like now. It wasn't, you can't Google, hey, Google, what's it look like to hire a new employee? It was a lot of phone calls and kind of learning and talking to other people. And now, of course, in hindsight, the second I hired her, it was like, darn it, why didn't I do that sooner? But yeah.
So that's a great lead into your team. So maybe take a minute, talk about kind of the size of your team, the types of roles, and you hired that first employee a few years ago. What have been your keys to attracting strong talent since then?
Yeah. So we have 5 people on the Sparkspace team, and we're all pretty specialized. Um, we have a web designer, art director, an an illustrator who they all do amazing work. We also have a social media manager and a project manager who keeps all of it running super smoothly. That used to be my role, so I think I'm most appreciative of her. Um, they have all been with me all the designers since about 2019. And we actually grew during COVID. And so I hired them all in, I think it was 21. And, then we hired the social media manager, and the project manager was last. But it's been a real interesting arc, I guess. They're getting a team to work without silos because they're in kind of their own little departments. It's like so and so works on this and so works on that. So over the years, I've worked really hard to get them all working together and to being relying on each other. And they are now. It was in the beginning, I think my leadership style was a lot more, driven and grindy. But over the years, it's evolved into this, a much more cohesive, caring, focus on mental health um, kind of thing. And we really rely on each other.
Great lesson learned of having to adapt your own style as you build the team up there. So, what are your keys then to retaining the team?
Um, Keys to retaining. I've learned that I know that money is obviously very important to people, but I have learned that it isn't everything. It's being excited about your workplace. I had some bad bosses, which is another reason why I dreamed of having my own design studio. And I wanted to create something where the team was excited. They're energized. They don't have the Sunday scaries. They show up Monday like ready to roll. And um, it just, it's been amazing to watch them all gel so much.
You talked about making sure they're not getting kind of stuck in their own silos, working together. So you've got kind of your spirit of being energized about it. But are there any other kind of processes or tools you put in place to ensure that there is that spirit of connection and collaboration?
For sure. And I think I need to say that we're a virtual team. We have a person in Chicago and we have a couple in Columbus, and the rest of us are here in Dayton. And weekly Zoom meetings are kind of our jam. They've really helped us build that community. And over the years, once a month we about once a month we just spend one meeting on swapping stories and talking about music and what people are listening to and watching, and just like the soft stuff, the water cooler conversations that you would have if we were in person. And it's really been enlightening for all of us, and the team really likes those. They like to share, they like the opportunity to kind of take off the work mantle and just put it down for a minute.
Well, it means a lot that you're willing to make the time, with them. Hey, we're just gonna hang out and get to know each other and talk about fun stuff, right? Not necessarily that next project deadline that's around the corner kind of thing. Right?
Right. Yes.
So the so we talked about some of the challenges you've overcome. So as you look out on the horizon, what's the one challenge or problem that you'd love to fix? If I could give you a magic powder that you could sprinkle on that issue and it would go away, what would that be?
I would improve our visibility, like throw off that invisibility cloak. And our team is next level. But even with our efforts, I feel like we are Dayton's best kept secret. And yeah, so I would encourage our viewers to give us a shout and see what's different about SparkSpace.
So while we're at that, what are the best ways for people to connect and follow you and the team?
Sure. So you can check out SparkSpace Creative, SparkSpace creative.com. See our portfolio, read our case studies, click on that schedule a call today button in the top right corner. You can also send an email to start.something@sparkspacecreative.com, or find me, Errin Siske, S as in Sam, ISKE, on LinkedIn. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at SparkSpace Creative.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned growing more on Facebook and the other social channels. So it's good to get those in there.
Yes.
So roughly 12 years in, good track. Sounds like really good traction. Got a really strong team. What's your vision for the future? You look 3, 5 years down the road. What's your
35.
dream?
35 years down the road.
No,
Wow.
3 to 5, not 35.
I'll be gone by then. 3 to 5, we love these annual partnerships. And I think we're trying to grow that area of the business. We love a great one-off project, but our goal is always to turn those clients into repeat customers, because that's just how we roll. It's my nature to build relationships and partnerships. And I think people struggle finding a reliable resource, and having these kind of relationships, we're your go-to, and we're going to move heaven and earth to get your stuff to you. I have tons of stories about, the lengths we go to make sure that people have what they need when they need it. And I think it's one of the things that makes us special. But so anyway, long-term partnerships are absolutely one of the things that we're focusing on in the next 3 to 5 years.
Do you have visions of someday? Right now, you're virtual. Do you see eventually being large enough that you would have a location? Or you think the virtual model is great, and that you're going to continue to grow that way?
We're going to continue virtually. We've had several conversations about the return to work, return to office situation. And my team is they are devout workers from home, and I'm okay with that. Everything's getting done. We meet quarterly when we can and get together in person to take a training or do a photo shoot or whatever. And I think that model it really works for us.
So a lot of entrepreneurs watching this, folks who tend to be a little bit earlier in their journey as a business owner. So taking all stock of what you've learned up to now, what advice do you give somebody? Maybe they're a couple years into their journey as a business owner. What would advice would you share? Your keys to success.
Yeah. Um, so my key to success is, and this might be a little metaphysical for people, but I found that good things happen when I'm consistently in a good place. When I'm in this, high vibe mindset and everywhere I look, I see opportunities, I know I'm on the right path. And it wasn't always that way. And so I guess the advice I would give is to, it's simple and you've probably heard it before, but I trust my gut or your heart or whatever it is that speaks to you, that little voice inside. Um, when I think I'm smarter than my intuition, that's when I get in trouble. So just tune in and listen to your gut. It will not steer you wrong.
Uh, that's intriguing. The part you mentioned about, hey, when I'm in a good place, good things tend to happen.
Yeah.
Life of a business owner, though, ups and downs.
Yeah.
It's easy to find some valleys and stay there for a while. So what practices do you have to keep yourself in that good place?
Yeah. So I'm a meditation person and I do yoga in the mornings. These are things I've found that help keep the stress down. I work out every morning. There are various kinds of things I do, but getting that like excess energy out in the morning helps me stay clear and calm. And they're the things I come back to. If I lapse and I don't do those for a few days, I see a difference and I can feel myself, the doubt creeps in or my confidence is slipping or something. And it's like, oh my God, what did I do? And so I come back to my morning routine, which is absolute gold for me. And it sets the tone for my day. Sometimes business owners just need a kick in the pants. And, I'm not going to lie, like last summer, we were kind of going through some stuff and I hired a chief marketing officer to like help bring some clarity. There's a separate business that we're kind of launching, and she could see that I was not in a good place. And so she zeroed in on me and she was a straight talker and really shook me out of whatever the funk was that I was in and helped me get back to my morning routine and, you know, back to where I'm happy and successful and positive.
Well, thanks for being so open and sharing that. And again, yes, so impactful, so powerful, and so important, right? Because again, the journey is going to have some of those down periods, those challenges, and so having the practices, having the tools to get your mindset in the right place, just so essential.
It really is.
So as we get closer to wrapping up here, who do you follow? Any books, podcasts? Who do you look after for insights?
Yeah. So the book I love the most that when I am struggling, I turn to this. It's called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Sincero.
And wow, she'll snap you back into a positive mindset. Nobody's business. Are you familiar with her?
Yeah, I've read that book. It's been a few years. I read that book. So sounds like you're the CMO you hired had a little bit of that tone to get you back in
Yeah,
position.
that tough love. Yeah, she was great. Um, I'm listening to a podcast right now called We Can Do Hard Things. And it's oh, Liz Gilbert. She's written several books about creativity and kind of, well, Eat, Pray, Love was her thing. And she is she's a force of wellness and positive mindset. So that's what I gravitate to, are those things that keep me in that the positive state. keeping the good things flowing.
So as we look to wrap up here today, Errin, what inspires you when you wake up in the morning? You look forward to
The sunshine through my window and doing my morning routine, getting in flow.
well, hey, thank you for sharing your story and a little bit more about your team and Spark Space Creative. Again, encourage folks, go check them out. She shared the website link before, but sparkspacecreative.com. Also connect with Errin on LinkedIn and coming information to their Facebook and Instagram channels as well. So loved your openness and sharing your story here. Again, for those viewing us today, encourage you to go out and hit that subscribe button. Hope you took good notes from the lessons that Errin shared here as well. And we wish you all a fantastic day. Thank you.
Thank you.